The crystalline arena of Zalthar Prime gleamed under three suns, its transparent floor suspended above a chasm that descended into the planet's molten core. Princess Kelvara of the Draxian Empire stood at one end, her four arms crossed in a gesture of supreme confidence. Her bioluminescent skin pulsed with violet patterns, the mark of royalty among her kind. Across from her stood David Chen, a human engineer from the Terran Survey Corps, looking remarkably unremarkable in his standard-issue jumpsuit. His dark hair was disheveled, and his brown eyes showed more exhaustion than fear. "You dare insult the Draxian throne by refusing my brother's challenge." Kelvara's voice resonated through the arena, translated by neural implants into every language spoken by the thousands of spectators floating in gravitational suspension around them. "Your species has much to learn about honor." Ana Rodriguez watched from the human delegation box, her knuckles white as she gripped the railing. As David's commanding officer and closest friend, she tried everything to prevent this absurd situation. 3 days ago, Prince Tharzan had challenged David to a combat duel over what the Draxians considered a grave insult. David had declined the prince's invitation to a ritual hunt, citing engineering duties. In Draxian culture, such a refusal demanded blood satisfaction. When David defeated the prince using nothing but superior tactical thinking and a basic plasma cutter, reprogrammed on the fly to emit a harmless but spectacular light show that convinced the prince he'd been fatally wounded, the princess had invoked the right of escalation. A member of the royal bloodline could challenge anyone who defeated their kin, and refusal meant war between their civilizations. "I meant no insult to your family, princess," David said, his voice steady despite his obvious fatigue. "I'm just trying to do my job so both our peoples can benefit from this expedition." Kelvara's laugh echoed like shattering glass, typical human weakness, hiding behind words and diplomacy. She activated her combat harness, and 4 plasma blades materialized, one in each hand, their edges vibrating at frequencies that could slice through molecular bonds. "The Draxian Empire has conquered 47 star systems. We are warriors supreme. What power could a simple human possibly possess?" Ana leaned forward, her heart racing. She knew what David could do, what humans could do when pushed to their limits, but the Draxians didn't. They saw humanity's reluctance to fight as weakness rather than restraint. "Begin," the Arbiter declared. Kelvara moved with the fluid grace of an apex predator, her 4 blades creating a deadly sphere of plasma as she advanced. David didn't move. He simply stood there, watching, his breathing slow and measured. The princess closed the distance in seconds, her blades converging on David's position from 4 angles simultaneously. The crowd gasped. In the delegation box, Ana closed her eyes. The blades stopped. All 4 of them, frozen centimeters from David's body, unable to advance despite Kelvara's maximum effort. The princess's bioluminescent patterns flickered with confusion. What sorcery is this?" she demanded. "Not sorcery," David said quietly, "physics." He raised his hand, and the arena's gravitational generators, the same ones keeping the spectators floating, began to respond to commands they weren't designed to receive. David's neural implant, standard issue for all Terran engineers, interfaced with systems through quantum entanglement. Most species use such implants for communication and data access. Humans, with their particular neural architecture shaped by millennia of tool use, pattern recognition, and abstract thinking, had discovered they could do much more. The gravitational fields around Kelvara's blades intensified to crushing levels, then dispersed entirely, the plasma dissipating harmlessly into the air. Her 4 arms trembled with the effort of holding weapons that no longer existed. "You see, princess," David continued, walking in a slow circle around the stunned Draxian, "humanity didn't conquer our home system through strength or natural weapons. We're not the strongest, fastest, or most durable species. We survived because we think differently. We see patterns. We solve problems. We adapt. He gestured, and the arena itself responded. The transparent floor beneath them displayed complex mathematical equations, the formulae governing the gravitational systems, power distribution networks, and structural integrity fields maintaining the entire facility. In the 3 days since your brother challenged me, I haven't been sleeping much. I've been studying. Did you know this arena has 17,000 independent systems, all networked, all accessible to anyone with the right knowledge? David's voice remained calm, almost conversational. The Draxian Empire built impressive technology, but you've stopped innovating. You rely on strength and conquest. You've forgotten what it means to truly understand your own tools. Kelvara attempted to activate her backup weapons, but nothing responded. Around the arena, the spectators murmured in growing alarm as their gravitational suspension flickered and stabilized under David's control. I could kill everyone here, David said, and the temperature in the arena dropped as his words were translated. I could destabilize the gravity wells or overload the containment fields. I could turn every piece of technology in this system into a weapon. That's the real power of humanity, Princess. We understand the tools we use. We don't just wield them, we master them, remake them, and bend them to our will in ways their creators never imagined. Anna watched Kelvara's expression shift from confidence to confusion to something approaching fear. The princess's bioluminescent patterns had turned a pale, sickly green. But I won't do any of that, David continued, his voice softening. Because unlike what you seem to believe, my people don't view restraint as weakness. We view it as strength. The ultimate power isn't the ability to destroy, it's the wisdom to choose not to, even when you can. He released his control over the arena's systems. Kelvara stumbled as her combat harness rebooted, her 4 blades flickering back into existence. She stood there, weapons active, staring at the human who had just held her entire civilization hostage and then simply let go. Your duel is satisfied, David said, bowing slightly in the Draxian gesture of respect. You attacked. I defended. Neither of us is dead. Can we please move past this now? The joint expedition has a xenoarchaeological site to explore, and I have 3 malfunctioning atmospheric processors that need attention before the colony habitat becomes uncomfortable for both our species. The silence in the arena stretched for what felt like an eternity. Then Kelvara did something no one expected. She laughed. Not the mocking laugh from before, but something genuine, almost relieved. You are very strange, human David, she said, deactivating her blades. The Draxian Empire measures power by one's ability to destroy enemies. You measure it by your ability to preserve them. She approached him, all 4 hands extended in the Draxian gesture of alliance. Perhaps we have much to learn from each other. David accepted the gesture, his single human hand somehow not looking inadequate against her 4. I'd like that, Princess. And please, call me David. If we're going to be working together on this expedition, we should probably move past titles. As the crowd erupted in confused but enthusiastic applause, Anna finally allowed herself to breathe. She pulled out her data pad and sent a message to David. Show off. You could have just told them you could do that from the beginning. His response appeared moments later. Where would be the fun in that? Besides, sometimes people need to see restraint in action to understand its value. Also, I really wasn't sure I could pull it off until I did. Engineering isn't an exact science when you're improvising. Anna groaned. That was so typically David, brilliant, reckless, and somehow always managing to turn potential disasters into diplomatic breakthroughs. Later, in the human delegation quarters, David collapsed onto a bunk while Anna poured them both drinks from their limited supply of Earth whiskey. You do realize, she said, handing him a glass, that you just fundamentally changed how the Draxian Empire views humanity. They're going to start treating us as potential equals rather than weak newcomers to be conquered or tolerated. David accepted the drink gratefully. Good. Maybe now they'll actually listen when we tell them those ruins we're excavating aren't safe without proper shielding. The radiation signatures suggest technology far beyond either of our civilizations. Always thinking about the work, Anna said, shaking her head with a smile. Someone has to, David replied. Besides, real power isn't about winning duels or dominating others. It's about solving problems, building things that last, and maybe, just maybe, helping different civilizations understand each other well enough to accomplish something together that neither could alone. He raised his glass. To restraint, understanding, and the hope that we can all figure out how to use our powers wisely. Anna clinked her glass against his. Outside their window, the three sons of Zalthar Prime sat together, casting the alien world in spectacular colors. Tomorrow, humans and Draxians would work side by side in the ruins, exploring mysteries left by a civilization that had vanished long before either of their species reached the stars. And somewhere in the royal quarters, Princess Kilvara studied the human engineer's technical profile with new respect, beginning to understand that sometimes the most formidable power was the kind that chose not to display itself until absolutely necessary.